Wait 1 second, let's wait for YouTube to go live. Okay, everybody, before we start this interview, just a little update on the bus. They cannot mend the bus, so we are calling around some specialists to get the bus fixed. We will probably move these interviews to a different location and continue the interview somewhere else while the bus somehow gets fixed, because right now we are broken down here in Arkansas. And we're okay because there's a reason for this, as always. Remember, guys, this is an old bus and does a lot of miles, and we will get it fixed. So that's the update on that. Toby and Belle's working hard on that with the local people here. Everybody's good. Very big. All right. Hi.
Hi.
Sorry to keep you waiting. What's your name?
Megan LaFoon.
Megan. And how many children have you got?
Just one.
And how old is he?
He's 8 and a half.
8.5. And what's his name?
Miller.
Okay, right. We're going to go back and ask some standard questions. Don't need to be nervous. These people are already sending you hearts. You're getting hearts on Facebook.
It's not the people, it's the cameras.
Okay, don't worry about the cameras. They're just phones. Just ignore them.
Yes.
And you're going directly to people who love you.
Okay.
Now, when you were pregnant with your beautiful boy, what could I have said you are an anti-vaxxer?
No.
Tell me what you were thinking about vaccines, if anything.
I had heard a little bit about vaccines and the autism connection, and it was definitely on my radar. It was not something that I was very concerned about. I don't think I had a real strong opinion about it yet. I still very much believed that vaccines were going to protect him from deadly diseases. It just wasn't something I thought would happen to him.
Now, did you get any vaccines while you were pregnant with him? You did?
I did. I got the flu shot.
How many weeks pregnant were you?
He was, gosh, I don't even recall. I had him in March, and I think I received the flu shot in January.
Right, and what did they say to you that made you think that you should do that?
That he was going to be born during flu season, and that he would not be able to be vaccinated until 6 months for the flu.
And when was he born?
He was born in end of March.
So March is flu season, is it? I did not know that.
That's what they.
Okay.
That's what they said. And then I needed to do it to protect him because he would not be able to be vaccinated until 6 months. So I was very trusting of anything the doctors said at the time, and felt like it was the right thing to do.
Of course you did. There's no reason why you would question the people with medical degrees.
Right.
So was he born on time?
Yeah, he was born on our anniversary.
And that was 40 weeks?
It was 3 days late. 3 days early. His due date was March 27th, and he was born which was so special to have him born on our anniversary.
And how was he when he was born? Did you look at your boy and think there's something wrong with him?
No, he was perfect. He was huge. He was 8 pounds 12 ounces. It was a vaginal birth. No complications. I had him in 5 hours, which was kind of crazy.
And was it at the hospital around here?
It was actually in Little Rock.
Little Rock.
Yeah,
okay.
We were living in Southeast Arkansas at the time, and we had him in.
Describe your beautiful baby when he was born. What was he like?
He was perfect. Just big blue eyes and had very dark hair and big baby. Everybody commented on his size. There just was nothing was wrong. I was asked while I was in labor if I wanted to do the Hep B vaccine. And I had him in 5 hours, so by the time we got to the hospital, I was full blown. I was almost too dilated to even have a epidural.
So while you're trying to give birth to your baby boy, they're badgering you for the Hep B.
And I was so scared, and so my husband and I both were just I was about to have a baby. I was terrified, I was anxious, I was excited, and they asked in that moment, do we want hepatitis B? And I said, I don't know. It wasn't even something that I feel so stupid now not having researched everything that was going to take, but I just was trusting of the doctors. And the nurse said, if you don't do it now, you won't ever be able to do it.
If you don't do it now, what?
And it's to vaccinate against sexually transmitted diseases and
Did
dirty
you know
needles.
that?
No,
at that
I did
time?
not know that. I did not know that. And so he was given hepatitis B day of birth.
And vitamin K.
And vitamin K.
Okay, so he's had she's had hepatitis B and K, and how is your baby now after that? Is he okay?
No, he has lots of health issues.
No, how was he? So you're holding this baby, and he's had these
Yeah, no, we did not notice anything then.
Okay.
Yeah, he was fine. Took him home fine. It was around 2 months that he started with the ear infections.
Okay, now did he go for his 2-month vaccines?
Mm-hmm.
So you go and you don't question, you just have him vaccinated?
I did question it. I was very, very, at this point, concerned about the vaccines. Our pediatrician had 5 children, and I really liked our pediatrician. And I asked him, what did you do with your kids? And he said, I vaccinated them on the routine schedule. And I said, and are they okay? And he said, yeah, they're all fine. And I remember telling my husband, he may get autism, but at least he won't die. Because I just totally...
said that.
I totally bought into the fear-mongering, almost like I'd rather him have autism than die of measles, which is so goofy now. I just wish I could go back and shake myself. But
if we had $1 for every pediatrician that said, my kids are all vaccinated on schedule and my kids are all fine, we would be one rich bus here.
Yeah.
We have to make this book, peeps. We have to. This is probably the most important book we've ever made. The stupid things pediatricians will say. They will say these things to you. This is not your fault. You know that.
Yeah, I do know that now. But, the guilt is just...
I know. Okay, so he's starting to get ear infections after the 2-month vaccines.
Mm-hmm.
And so what's that look like?
I feel like he had an ear infection his whole first year of life. He was on... he had probably 8 ear infections and was on round after round of antibiotics. He had eczema. He had acidic, awful diapers, and then he stayed sick with a rash and ear infections for the whole first year, and we continued to vaccinate a sick child under our doctor's guidance.
Okay, so when did you first start to see that something wasn't quite right?
He got his MMR at 12 months.
Did he only get his MMR or did he get other vaccines?
I don't know that. I know
That's okay.
He got his MMR. Whatever was recommended, we followed the routine schedule on time.
Have his medical records at home?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So he had his 12-month shots, which included the MMR.
Yes.
Okay, and what happened after that?
He spiked a really high fever, which it wasn't directly following, it was a few days later, which we didn't even at the time associate it with the MMR. I do now. With no other symptoms, just a very, very high fever. In fact, we were so nervous that we called my mother-in-law to come help us, and we put him in a bath and tried to get his fever down. It was between...
Did you give him Tylenol?
Yes, Tylenol. With every ear infection, with every vaccine. In fact, I was telling somebody outside earlier, I can remember being on our way to the pediatrician's office. We had to drive an hour to our pediatrician. My husband was coaching at the time, and we lived in a really little town, and we drove to Little Rock to the doctor. And I can remember panicking because we didn't bring the Tylenol with us, and I called the doctor's office and spoke to the nurse, and she said, oh, don't worry, we can give it to him, whenever he gets here. Just all these things you look back and it's just sickening.
So, at what point are you realizing, oh my gosh, actually, it's the vaccines? What stage in your child's development did you click?
Once I started noticing signs of autism, is when the vaccines started to come.
And how old was he then?
It was between a year and 2.5 years that we really saw. He's the classic regressive autism. He had, and I was a teacher. And I looked at milestone charts, and I kept a perfect baby book, and I wrote down everything he said and did, and I looked at his baby book last night to just refresh my memory of the timeline of everything, and I have every word he said every month. I have when he gestured, just all these things, and I have video of him that I don't really want to share publicly.
No, you don't have to share it publicly.
But it was Thanksgiving, and we were with my whole family. And he's in his high chair, and he's pointing, and he's counting, and he's singing nursery rhymes, and he's, in Arkansas we call the hogs, and he calls the hogs, and he drops his cup and says uh-oh, and just all this animal sounds, just all this engagement. And then I have video the following Thanksgiving, 1 year to date later, and he's just
gone.
And the video's not very long. The first video is long because he's just doing all his tricks, and then the video from the next year, I'm trying to get him, oh, Miller, say gobble gobble, and nothing. I mean, and he looks so sick.
When did he get his last vaccines?
I stopped vaccinating. He did not get his second MMR after the autism diagnosis. He was diagnosed at 2 years, 7 months.
Did he have any between 12 months and 2 years? Did he have his 18 or whatever they do here?
He did.
Yeah, so you carried on vaccinating him.
The regression was slow, and so it wasn't until like big things were gone that we really noticed like something is happening. I remember at his 2-year-old birthday, we had a horse themed birthday party for him. He's always loved farm animals, and we had all our family over, and he would not even be out in the house with all of our family. We had to take turns going into our bedroom with him because he was just so overstimulated and overwhelmed. And I knew before then, but I knew then that something wasn't right. His first haircut he did beautifully, and then we took him for his second haircut, and it was like we were pulling off his fingernails. He reacted so awfully. And I remember I was watching the show The Talk, who's the celebrity on there that has a child with autism, one of the ladies on there. And
Wait, I don't even know what The Talk is. It's
like a daytime TV show similar to The View, but it was late in the afternoon.
Was it Jenny McCarthy?
It wasn't Jenny McCarthy.
Yeah, okay, I don't know.
No, I can't remember who it was. But anyway, she mentioned something about haircuts and autism, and that was the first thing that I was like, oh my gosh, I think that he might have autism. And I started really researching that, and that was not long after his MMR, somewhere in between 1 and 2. And then at his second birthday, I was like, this is just not right.
Did you at any point say to a white coat medical professional, I think the vaccines and the antibiotics have done this to my son?
Yeah, and we had to switch pediatricians like our first pediatrician left the clinic, and we switched to a new pediatrician who I really, really liked. And he actually believes that there is a connection between vaccines and autism now.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, and he believed that Miller had reacted to the vaccines because he had seen him, before and after.
How do you and your husband feel that, you trusted the system and you then had to go and do your research after your child was injured, and then you find out this catastrophic, unbelievable bundle of lies surrounding vaccines and doctors and what they can say to you and how it's just one big huge lie? How do you feel that actually this could have all been prevented?
Just disgusted. I mean, it's sickening.
And you're here today, you were telling me before, because you really don't want anyone else to suffer.
Yeah, I hate that. I can't stand cameras.
I know you
I
can't.
do not like
You're doing really well, by the way.
Thank you.
You're doing really well. Everyone's sending you love and hearts.
If I could help and prevent this from happening to one person.
And the reason for this, for those very few people that maybe don't understand this, why parents sit here and tell their story is to help you, because there is no describing the soul-crushing pain of your child regressing after vaccines. There is no describing, and you wouldn't wish it on your worst enemy.
No.
Even you trolls out there fighting us, we do not wish this on you.
No, I don't wish it on anyone. And in fact, a new mother recently asked for my advice, and it's such a tricky conversation to have. But I told her everything that I know and ended with, you will always have the opportunity to vaccinate. You will not have the opportunity to go back. When it's done, it's done. And there's no undoing it.
Now, describe your beautiful boy today. What are these vaccines taken away from him? What's his life like?
We've made a lot of progress. But it's a struggle.
Does he speak?
He does speak. It's limited.
Mm-hmm.
He's not, I wouldn't say that he's conversational. He can express his wants and needs, and he actually knew language this morning, came up to me and said, I'm a mama's boy. So every now and then he comes up with something,
That's wonderful. I bet that just melted your heart.
And I needed it today.
And he's toilet trained?
Yes.
Okay, so
yeah, but that was a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah. He goes to school with a full-time aide. He goes to a private full-time aide. He loves being around other children. He just struggles to interact. He's very bright. He learns new skills pretty quickly. He just doesn't care to show his knowledge, which is, I think, is the social part of it.
What is your advice to new parents? What do you wish you had been told that could have prevented this?
I just do your homework, research everything. Do not take anything that your doctor says without looking into it yourself. Talk to other parents that have been through this. And I just think don't make any decision blindly. Do not trust the doctors on everything that they say. Do your homework.
Well, you told the story beautifully.
Oh,
I know you're very nervous, but you really, people are sending you so much love.
Thank you.
And I know you watch these stories on Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
and the peeps are happy to see you, and they send you love.
Oh, thank you.
And you're part of our fam, and thank you, because it really takes a lot. If you don't, most people don't want to come and do this.
Yeah, I was very back and forth in my mind on it. Yeah, I mean
and we really appreciate you doing this, because I truly believe that every story saves another baby.
Oh, I believe that too, definitely.
And so much love to your boy as
well.
well.
More powerful. Thank you.
And if we can do anything to help the people, just tell the peeps, because we're all here for each other.
Yeah, just the awareness.
I think we should have one of the biggest, saddest things is when it's their birthdays,
mm-hmm.
and they don't have any friends or enough friends, or they don't get invited to birthday parties. I feel like where we build the trust, we must need to have a birthday party every single day.
Oh,
and
they're all
invited.
Community.
And we need to have someone set up a birthday card list of all of our kids, so when it's their birthday, if they're into Thomas, or they're into solar system, whatever it is they're into, we just shower. We've got to step in and look after our ones that are injured. And it's very painful when your child doesn't have any friends. It's very painful when they want to make friends and they don't know how to. It's just it's ongoing pain. Vaccine injury.
Every day is painful.
All right, guys, we're coming off. We are running out of battery. Generator's still not working. Everybody keep those prayers coming in, because we need them right now. We know we're in good hands, and I'm sure there's a reason for why this is happening. We'll soon find out what it is, but the bus, I would hope, has got somewhere to get fixed right now. So we will be moving location, maybe, or maybe not. I'm about to get an update for you, and we'll be back. We have a lot of stories today. Okay.